Doing it for the love. Doing it for the love, so now I'm doing what I want.
I did it for the love of the shit.
Doing it for the love, so now I'm doing what I want.
I did it for the love of the shit.
Hip hop and rap, yeah, that's where my heart's at. That's where my heart's at. Hip hop and rap, yeah, that's where my heart's at. Doing it for the love,
For the love of the shit.
doing it for the love,
I did it for the love.
doing it for the love.
For the love of the shit.
Hip hop and rap, doing what I want.
I did it for the love of the shit. I did it for the love of the shit. I did it.
For the love, that's where my heart's at. Doing it for the love, hip hop and rap. That's where my heart's at. That's where my heart's at. That's where my heart's at. That's where my heart's at.
I did it for the love of the shit. I did it.
What is up, Win Daily Sports? Ivan, as always, like the new countdown with the music. So, got to give the hip hop some cred last night. Super Bowl, Dr. Dre locking it down. Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, 50 Cent making an appearance, and the Queen of Soul, Miss Mary J. Blige, and as always, Snoop. It's Tony, it's Ghost. We're back. Super Bowl's over. Football's completely in the rear view. So now it's major focus on the NBA DFS market. I want to thank Ghost and Adam for holding it down on me on Friday nights. I could go to the Sixers game. No James Harden yet, but that's okay. Get there eventually, right? I also want to give a shout out to that rhyme. That's at Audio Assassin. That's my man Jeff Ayatarola's constant DJ, mixing up all kinds of tunes. So you'll hear a lot of his shows, a lot of his songs on these shows in the near future. But Ghost, great weekend. Here we go. NBA. What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Not bad. How are you doing, bro?
You know me, man. I'm always going 100 miles an hour, so it
That's
doesn't
it.
make it. I just
That
drank
intro
my-
video gets me hyped. Not gonna lie, I'm like,
Yo,
I'm
I like
ready
it.
to. I feel like
Right?
I'm back in the hockey room, like ready to hit the ice. Shout out to your boy. It's a heavy mix.
Oh
I'm digging
man,
it.
listen, he's always in the dungeon mixing up some good stuff, man. He's a 90s hip hop guy. I'm a 90s hip hop guy, so he's a big Gangstar guy, big Wu-Tang guy. So I'm gonna try to get some of that in our flavor mix here as well. But tonight, 9 games. Listen, 9 games. There were a lot of trades that went down, a lot of things that happened. Still not everybody in their rightful place yet. We're getting there. Ivan checking in. What's up, Matt? Ivan, as always, thanks for being the first ones in. But Nick, like we always say, man, going into tonight, is that 1 or 2 games? I have a feeling what they're going to be, but that you're looking at for these major plays.
Sacramento Brooklyn's going completely overlooked, and it's going to be the highest scoring game on the slate. I don't get it. I don't get it. This is the ultimate spot for me to attack in tournaments, and that's where I'm going with my studs. It's I don't understand how it's going completely overlooked. I understand that Giannis is doubtful, and everyone wants to get some Milwaukee exposure against Portland. I get it. Julius Randle has been on a tear and RJ Barrett is still out. I get it. The Raps are in a good spot against the Pelicans in what will now be a competitive game environment since they acquired TJ McCollum. I understand. Sacramento, Brooklyn is going to be an absolute track meet with the worst defense, with the worst rating in over a decade in the calendar years. So just over 6 weeks, the Brooklyn Nets have the worst defensive rating in the last decade. Like I don't know how people are not playing this game.
I'm with you. And again, you listen. There's no secret here. Ghost is the expert, right? I always pivot to Ghost and Adam, right? I am not an expert. I'm very good, but I'm not an expert. Okay, I don't claim to be one. But what I can tell you is when I pulled up this slate and I started doing my research, the first thing that stood out to me was like, yo, Sabonis is going to have a monster game tonight. So I kept thinking. I'm looking at Brooklyn. I'm like, who is going to stop anybody? And then, like you said, on the other end, it's just going to be constant shots for Brooklyn. So there's going to be a ton of points scored in this game. And right off the bat, I was right on your same wavelength. Like, I got to get me some ownership in that game.
Oh, you absolutely have to. Like for me, there's no one in this game that's projected to be over 10% rostered right now. And that's just absolutely ludicrous. To me, it makes no sense whatsoever. This game might hit 240. It grades out as the best game in my model by a fair margin. And like for me, it's Sacramento's always been that team that I love to target. Sabonis allows them to go smaller, and they're actually playing at an even faster pace with Sabonis on the court now. So he's much faster than Rashawn Holmes, and he's able to keep up with De'Aaron Fox. And De'Aaron Fox is now handling the ball 24/7 the way that he was last year because Tyrese Halliburton's now in Indiana. And you're seeing a lot of De'Aaron Fox. You're seeing the minutes creep up into that 34 to 38 minute range, which I've been begging for years now. And now you're finally getting it. And for me, it's just you're getting a ton of minutes of De'Aaron Fox. A game's going to play fast no matter what. He doesn't care who he's playing. He plays his game. That's what I love about his game, is that he goes out there and does what he wants to do. And the only player that I can see garnering interest from the majority of the field in this game, if Andre Drummond ends up starting, it will be green check syndrome. Yeah, so if Andre Drummond starts, be aware of the fact that he will be one of, if not the highest roster player on this slate. But people are waiting to see if he's starting. If he's not starting, people will not roster him. And that too, it's just you're able to take advantage of it, man. Like just because he's coming off the bench doesn't mean that he's not going to be in this rotation. They're slated to make their debut. I absolutely love Seth Curry in the spot.
Yeah.
And for me, it's you can go cheap exposure with Sacramento. You could go to the Harrison Barnes. You could go to the Mo Harkless. You can go to the trio of guys off the bench and Davion Mitchell, Dante DiVincenzo, and other guys like that. But for me, it's I want the studs, man. I want De'Aaron Fox. I want Domantas Sabonis, and I'm not building a lineup without at least one of them.
I agree. Well, I said it a lot, but I really do. And it's something that, when we look at this and Adam checking in as well, giving us the same lowdown, all three of us 100% on the same page. I got to ask you about Seth Curry because I think I always get weary, and I do. I like Steph. I almost said Steph. I like Seth tonight, right? Because everybody in Philly
like Steph too.
Right. But here's the thing, Ghost. Everybody in Philly thinks we trade Steph and not Seth, right? So they got to relax and calm down a little bit. But do you get scared at all being the first game in Brooklyn, right? Being the first game, are you scared about the minutes that Curry gets tonight?
It's the one, like, if anything, people should be worried about Drummond, even if he starts. That's the guy to be concerned about. Not because Steve Nash is like, just even though it's Steve Nash and one of the all-time greats in terms of coaching, let's just say not one of the all-time greats thus far. Like, we'll just leave it at that. His rotations are questionable at best. You know what I mean? And but even if we put that all aside and we just put yourself in his shoes, he's been running small ball lineups ever since he got to Brooklyn because that's all he's been able to do. So now he has Andre Drummond. Man, he's not just going to completely abandon the fold, right? Like, and then you look at their opponents. Sacramento goes small also with Sabonis at the 5. That's considered small in today's NBA. You go Sabonis at the 5. You go guys like Julius Randle at the 5. When the Hawks take Clint Capella off the court and they go John Collins at the 5. Like that's a small ball center now. When the Warriors launch out their death lineup and Draymond Green's at the 5. Like now it's Brooklyn can end up turning to Nick Claxton or LMA, or you know what I mean? Like it's they can go a ton of different options in this front court, and it's actually pretty crowded. Whereas in their backcourt, man, like outside of Cam Thomas, there's no one that really jumps out to me. Patty Mills is gonna hoist up a ton of shots, but outside of that, man, like he's not a ball handler. Patty Mills, like gone are the days of Patty Mills where he's able to cook somebody at the top of the perimeter. He can't do that anymore. His jump shot is just as good as it was a decade ago, but man, he's not as explosive to the rim as he was. So they need somebody to handle the ball, and Cam Thomas is not going to do it for 38 minutes. And now Seth was able to do that in Philadelphia. He was able to do that in Dallas when Luka was off the court. He was able to do that in Portland when he was there too. He's always been able to do that, and he has good court vision. He's able to dish the rock when he wants to. But now I'm not even concerned about his ability to feed the rock because he himself is a shooter and he could create shots on his own because he's going to see a lot of one-on-one because he's surrounded by shooters. If Cam Thomas starts alongside him, Cam Thomas can shoot the ball. I just talked about how Patty Mills can shoot the ball. Like no matter which center is out there between the three, they're going to draw some coverage in the paint because they all have offensive touch around the rim. He's going to be surrounded by shooters and he's able to create his own shot. So I do like Seth in his debut tonight. I think he's going to be relied upon a lot.
Yeah, I listen, he's definitely going to get the shots, 100%. One thing about Seth that I can say from watching here in Philly, the only thing that bothered me about Seth is he turned the ball over a ton. He was very sloppy with the ball. Very lackadaisical entry passes. Cross-court passes, his vision's a little bit jaded in my opinion, but I completely agree. Listen, one thing he can do is shoot the rock, and he was shooting, I think Ghost is 42, 43% from 3, so
he's lethal from deep, man. And the thing is that like even in Philly, it's because that was not an offense meant for him to thrive.
Nope.
He was that, like, think about the games when he thrived the most. It was when both Maxey and Shake were out, and he absolutely dominated those games. He dominated those games with JoJo. He absolutely dominated those games. And now that's the situation that he's being put to in Brooklyn. There's no Kyrie with him. There's no KD. There's Harden's now in Philly. Like, it's no disrespect to Cam Thomas or Patty Mills or anything like that, but now he is the guy. And those were the type of environments where he always thrived in. When he was coming off the bench in Dallas, that's where he thrived. Yeah, he was good alongside Luka Doncic. He was able to space the floor, and that offense has been an absolute disaster ever since because they have no spacing. But now he's finally that guy where he's able to dictate the role of his offense, and that's where he thrived in Philadelphia. Because when you have Maxey, where as well as I do, because Philly guy, and you watch all these games and you see the way that offense runs, he's a pick and roll, but he's looking for his own shot. He's not a distributor. So Seth is out there on the perimeter, and it's like, man, like almost all of Seth's points are coming on second chance opportunities. It's when Embiid grabs an offensive rebound and then their offense resets. They can't play that half court offense, whereas now they can against Sacramento. It's going to be a lot of half court offense, a lot of transition. Like De'Aaron Fox turns over the ball a lot too, and even if Seth turns over the ball a lot too, that's even better for De'Aaron Fox, who I love tonight too. So like for me, I want that back and forth between the point guards tonight a lot.
Oh, that game's gonna be on my radar. I'm gonna watch that game 100%. That's one of those games that I'm definitely gonna watch. And it's funny. I think the only thing that gets in Seth Curry's way is his own ass, because I think he's got it's funny. Like when you watch Seth Curry, he's got a major backside, bro. Like it's almost like it's following him down the court, right? And it's funny. It's hilarious. But when you look at the two Curry brothers, he emulates Dell to a T, the way he walks.
He does,
right? If you take him and Steph together, you're like, all right, that Seth is definitely Dell's boy. Like you 100%. Can tell that's Dell's boy. 100%. You know what I mean? Just by his mannerisms, it's funny. It's so funny when I watch. I think about that all the time. But yeah, listen, that Sacramento game, and we're going to get right into the core. We got a ton of comments, and we're going to get to these guys. I promise you. Prince, don't worry. You're never late, man. You can always watch us on replay. We end enough to where you could go back and watch in the beginning to get what you need. Julian, we did just speak about Patty Mills. We got, do I go Sabonis, DeRozan, Vooch, or Siakam and Tiers? We'll get to that in a minute. Jimmy says, Tony, did you do some backflips when Maxey wasn't traded? Listen, Jimmy, that was the one thing I knew. One thing, I can be very impatient, and people in Philly know. That's why I got the nickname Jigsaw. But what I can tell you is I knew Daryl Morey was smarter than that. I knew he knew he did not have to include Tyrese Maxey in a trade to get James Harden. He already knew that. So I wasn't worried about it. I knew that wasn't going to happen. And we also got a couple more. We're going to get to these lines, Jimmy, in a minute. But let's go right away. Let's go to cores like we always do. We're already 15 minutes in. We'll get the show moving a little bit. And I think me and Ghost are going to be a little similar. And again, Ghost breakdown is probably going to be a lot more analytical than mine. But what I can tell you right now is, for me, again, I'm not going to go away from DeJounte Murray, especially with no more White. 30-plus points per game the last two. Listen, this to me, this just breathes a triple-double kind of DeJounte Murray night. His usage rate is at an all-time high. You already know that against Chicago. I think that's a really good game to attack. And again, go follow us at Win Daily Sports, windailysports.com. Tweeted out the article earlier that Ghost Adam put out. Every day, highly informational, sponsored by the Sharp app, where you can get the prop numbers, where you can get the different books, and also our optimizer. This is where you hear Ghost talk about this game. Guys are only rostered under 10%. We're finding that out through the optimizer. That's key when you're talking about your cash, your tournament plays. You want to be able to get those low ownership numbers for the highest value. So, and we'll hit on our FVVP again, as always, at the end of the show. But back to the core, we just talked about the Sacramento. This is a Sabonis bloodbath to me tonight. This is, and you're going to see this in props for profit for me, because this is 100% a Sabonis night. And I'm pairing them up with Fox. Exactly the reason what Ghost talked about. I looked at this game. I looked at one of the worst, atrocious defenses in all the NBA. And I kept thinking, there is no Ben Simmons yet. We already know that, right? And I'm not going to take his defensive ability away, but he's not there. So there's nobody right now that's going to be able to play defense for the Brooklyn Nets. And this is going to be a back and forth that's going to produce a ton of points. And not only points, but shots. So shots equal rebounds, okay, which is more rebounds for Sabonis. Okay, turnovers, more steals and points, more opportunities for Darian Fox. So like Ghost said, he's a primary ball handler now. No Halliburton. So that's why I'm in on. And I'm going Clay tonight. He's still under 7,000. And if you look, he has been consistent. He's hitting that 30-minute plateau consistently. They eased him back into this game against the Clippers, right? And you look at his numbers, this is what I'm going by. I'm going his usage rate is 30-plus minutes over the last 3 games, and he's hitting over 40 in 2 of his last 4 and at least 35 in 4 of 4. So tonight, he can quite possibly 45 to 50 point range for me tonight for Clay Thompson. Under 7,000, it's a great core for me to get. So we're going to swing right to Ghost and see what he thinks and let him talk about his core.
I put up a ton of combinations. So essentially it's you pick one of the 2 before each comma. There's your core 4. So it's Fox or Sabonis for me, or like both. Just depends if you need a guard or a forward, how much you're willing to pay up. I'm cool with either one of these guys. DDR or Julius Randle, I'm all in on DeMar DeRozan tonight. If you go Julius Randle because you need the savings of $600, I'm cool with it, but I'm all in on DeMar DeRozan, and he was the cover boy for the article today as well. And then it kind of gives away the FFVPs, but Grimes and Nora both stone cold minimum on DK, because how else are we going to be able to afford all these studs that I want to play? It's with these guys right here. So can you pair both in a lineup? Because I'm sure that's going to be a question that pops up. I'm okay with it. Just know that is a very quick path to failure. When you look at your lineup and you say, how does this not cash $2,000-$3,000 guys, is your automatic answer. So it's one thing to note that while, yes, it gets you the studs, it's also a quick path to failure. So I'm okay with it, but just know what you're getting yourself into. I like both of these guys. No Giannis. Love Nora's game. Just know that the Bucks I guess I'll call it their second big three with Middleton, Drew, and Bobby Portis. They're all still active. So Giannis is out, but it still ends up giving Nora a boost. But just be aware that the other guys all get offensive looks before. And then leading into that, you pick one of Bobby Portis or Drew Holiday. For me, I'm out on Chris Middleton. It's going to be one of Bobby or Drew. I'm cool with either one of them. I really like Drew in this matchup, but Bobby Portis is going to be in my props for profit as well. The whole idea behind this Bucks exposure is that you only play one because they're all going to be popular. And realistically, it's not if you pick the high scoring one. Don't go crazy if you pick Drew and he puts up 40 and Middleton puts up 45, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you just need not the two of the three that you didn't pick. Those guys can't go off because everyone's playing them together, and that's the issue. So Adam just lays it out right here. We were talking about it earlier, and he knows my strategy when it comes to this. I'm not completely opposed to playing 1 to 2 guys that are going to be highly rostered. My issue is playing them all together. It's all about the combinations. So if everybody's playing 2 out of the 3 Bucks, if not all 3 of them, and you still want 2 Bucks, that's fine. Pair Noora with one of Portis or Holiday. That's cool too. You could still play 2 Bucks, just one of them has to be Noora in that case. Because I'm not playing 2 of Portis, Holiday, and Middleton. Middleton's completely out of my player pool. I'm not playing 84 for Chris Middleton. Not in any day, ending in Y. You won't see me doing that.
No way. I completely agree with that. 100%. Bill checking in says, I don't understand the Seth and Drum love. I think they're okay, but not difference makers. Yeah, listen, Bill, I completely agree. They're not difference makers, and they're easily replaceable. 100%. Matt says, I agree with Seth, but Drummond will be Drummond. Listen, Drummond is who he is, right? There's nothing wrong with Drummond, but again, it's what Bill said, what I've said, what a lot of people said. These aren't game changers. These aren't difference makers. So it's nothing to hang your hat on, obviously. Drummond will be good in DFS. I can tell you that. He always has shown you to be, he just grabs the boards with authority. So he's going to do the same thing in Brooklyn. And it's funny, Ghost mentioned, the FFVP, which is interesting because, again, we talk about this again. It's the FFVP, the Fantasy Firebox Value Play. You catch the Fantasy Firebox on Win Daily, on Heat Ratio Sports every Saturday morning. Taking a couple weekends off, gathering our stuff together for basketball and baseball. But, these are guys that are low ownership, really maximal value, right? It's what you really want to look at. And it's funny because Ghost already mentioned a couple guys, and a couple of them are my props for profit. But for me specifically, I go a little different. Now, I'm going to go to Milwaukee factor, and I'm going to go Serge Ibaka. So again, when you look at this, I still think the Ibaka trade was made specifically for the Philadelphia 76ers. That's just my opinion. I look at that and I go, okay, why was that made? It was made because they know they have to stop Joel Embiid. Okay. And when Giannis goes out, they need somebody in there because Joel plays so many minutes. Now, tonight, Giannis is out. And again, here's a $4,000 guy who, in my opinion, it's going to get 30 plus minutes, okay, against Portland. And it's going to be able to put up 35 plus points tonight. So if I can get 30 to 35, I mean, he was giving you 35 for 3,500. So I'd be more than happy for 35 to 40 for 4,000. So for me, for my money, that's one of my FFVPs. Okay. And then again, when we talk about that, we also look at other value. And I'm going to go to Utah. Okay. And I'm going to go to Trent Forrest. And the reason why I'm going to go to Trent Forrest is they're playing Houston, and Houston stinks. Okay. And at the end of the day, even if this is a blowout, Trent Forrest is going to get clocked. He's averaging 23, 24, 25 minutes per game, and he's giving you that 17 to 25 point range. And again, I'm not recommending you go $2,000-$3,000 guys, but if you can pick a really good one between that $3,000 $3,500 range, it's going to give you that 20, 25 plus. I think it's a really good guy to have. So Ghost, for your money, what are you going for FFVP tonight?
I don't know if I put it in there, my bad, but it's going to be.
Put it in right now.
It's look, both Grimes and Aurora are going to be pretty heavily rostered, right? Stone Cold minimum. Adam, if you're still in the comments, I'm pretty sure both of them are going to be highly rostered. For me, the tournament pivot is going to be Ty Jerome. No Lou Dort for the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight. They need some shooters. Josh Giddey is a great ball distributor. He rebounds really well considering he's been in the league for all of 5 minutes. And he's going to be really dominant for the next decade plus. But he's not that guy that's able to put up 40 in a game. And I'm not saying Ty Jerome will ever put up 40. It'll take him usually a calendar month to score 40 points. But with no Lou Dort, that's their highest volume shooter that is now out of the lineup. And whether he starts or not, Ty Jerome's going to have to be out there for a ton of minutes. And at only 3,200 on DK, paying that $200 to get up from a guy like Grimes, who is right now projected to be rostered by 50% of the field. 1 out of every 2 people is rostering Grimes right now. It's a good pivot. And then it doesn't matter what you think about the rest of your lineup, anything like that. The one and only reason why you make this play is because you need Ty Jerome to outscore Grimes, and that's it.
You know, I feel this is what I love about this full transparency. So, you know, I do my research for the show and I'm looking at who I want, who's in that valuable range. First, I look at teams, I look at maybe injuries, look at different things going on. But it's so funny because before my third guy was Ty Jerome. And now I know that I'm doing well because Ghost has already taken them. So I already know I'm doing good now. So, but it's funny because I thought the same thing when I seen Lou Dort out. I'm like, look, again, we're talking about volume. We're just talking about volume again. And, you know, I went down there and I watched the Friday night when the Sixers played OKC and I watched Ty Jerome play. And again, I always go by the eye test. They like this kid. They like him. And he plays a lot. And, you know, you'll be surprised. I'll tell you what, Nick, here's what shocked me in that OKC game. They put Lou Dort on the bench for the entire fourth quarter. He never even got a minute. I didn't get it. And they were coming back. So I had no idea that was going to happen. But again, Ty Jerome was out there a lot. So I really, really, really like that play. Brian says, FFPB comb over. Boy, is that you going, Zach? Is that Zach Collins again? He said he dropped the 3,200 tonight. They gave him the $300 prop to 35. Now he's down to 32. Big. So hey, listen, in that game, I don't know, man. It's gonna be a tough game for Zach Collins, 100%. Brian wants to know, should I go Ibaka over Zoom? I don't know. What do you think, Ghost? I really like Ibaka tonight. I really do. I don't know. I'm curious what your opinion is.
It's this matchup can go one way or another for Zoob. He'll either dominate the Warriors on the inside or he'll foul out in 14 minutes. There's no in between. Because whenever he gets in the spot where he's going up against guys that are 6'2", and he realistically he has the size and he has the skill to dominate around the rim, for some reason he just fouls anybody that breathes within 10 feet of him. So and the Clippers are Ty Lue is not scared to go really small, and I mean really small. So that's the one thing that I'll say about Zoob.
I'll add to it a little bit with just going from a persistent point perspective. If you look at it, I know what I'm going to get from Serge when he plays X amount of minutes, right? Where you look at Zoob, no matter what, he's all over the place. No matter minutes, he's like 11, 18, 22, 30. I don't really know what to expect. It could be because he's undisciplined. It could be foul trouble. It could be game script. It could be like Nicky just said. It could be depending on what the coaching scheme is. So, I have to look at and defer to a guy who I know is going to be consistent. I'd rather go down with consistency than go down with a chance. So that's why in that same range, that's what I would definitely do. I would definitely go with him. Keith says 70 to 33 three fouls by mid-second. He does used to like his hands a lot, man. Likes his hands a lot. Princess, thoughts on Winslow tonight? I think Winslow's a good play too, isn't he?
There's another Clipper that I really like at 4,300 over Winslow. 56 for Winslow is, look, he'll get there. He'll get you 25 to 30. But if I'm paying 56 for someone on this slate, to put into perspective, Seth Curry is We're not talking about what they did in Philadelphia or what they're going to do in Brooklyn. I don't care whether they win the game or not tonight. I just care about the DFS production. Curry and Drum are both firmly in play tonight, and if you look at them, they're $100 and $200 cheaper than Winslow. Like it's all about guys that are around him, right? So the scoring upside is a little limited, but he attacks the glass well. He's going to get a couple steals, but that's the one thing. Like you have to think that he outscores Drummond and Curry and a bunch of guys in that 5K range, and I don't know if he can tonight.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's definitely gonna be tough, man. It's really, really, really gonna be tough. Brian second, and he wants to know. He says, "What's your complete dark shot plays? I'm running the 20 max penny micro booster, man. Listen, man, you go to FFVPs, but how about you just look at we talked about the Sacramento game. How about this, B? We talked about the Sacramento game, and we talked about getting play in that Sacramento Brooklyn game, right? We talked about how Brooklyn has one of the worst defenses in all of historic, right? Historic. Now, again,
It's
I
really
know,
bad.
right? They're really bad, right? They're really bad. Now I know when you say dark shot, right? You say dark shot. So I know Sabonis going to get his. I know Holmes going to get his. But how about Alex Len for 3,000 in a game that? Listen, I know he's third guy off the bench, but you just never know, right? You never know how this game's going to play. And for $3,000, if you can get 15 and 20, which he's been known to do for that number in the past, and just throwing it out there. You said dark shots. Dark shot. He was one of the guys on the very, very bottom tier of my list, looking at just because of game script, looking at who I have. So, I mean, take that for what you want. Just one of those, you never know, could be a dark shot. Who knows, right? Who knows, especially when you're doing that. 4 or 5 stars from Listen, sometimes you got to do it, man. Sometimes if you're going all full bore like that, you got to say it. Adam says not to say Jerome isn't a good pivot, 22 to 35% for Grimes, but Jerome is 6 in ownership on DK. Check that
I
out.
can't stand that.
What's going on? People are too following us too much, man. That's the problem, man. And listen to this FFEP stuff too much. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's tough. Listen, that's tough. That's tough. That means a lot. And again, guys, just so you know, not going to sound like a broken record, but this is what you get from Win Daily. Okay, we get in the optimizer. You get these projections. Okay, these ownership numbers are absolutely huge. So speaking of ownership, let's go like we always do. We keep the show rolling. Props for profit tonight. We have some fun with this. We're at the 33-minute mark. We're gonna get under 40 tonight, so we can go get our props for profit. Remember, hashtag props for profit. There's a reason why we're sponsored by the Sharp app. Your one-stop shop for all things betting tools. Okay, props for profit, hashtag prop for profit. You'll see the tweet go out, thread onto it, jump on it, let us know what you have. I went full bore here tonight, Ghost. I was feeling really good. I had a good weekend for the Super Bowl. Yes, Jalen Ramsey was not the MVP. That's okay. That was a dark shot, right? You never know. But who thought Cooper Kupp was going to be MVP, right? Everybody goes quarterbacks, right? Von Miller had a good chance to be MVP as well. So you just never know. But tonight, for props for profit, I'm going long shots. Now, this one isn't a long shot to me. My first one, it's funny. Again, we're all on second. It's Quentin Grimes, 15 plus points tonight. Again, no RJ Barrett. Again, he's going to get the clock, right? We've talked about this. Minutes. If you're on the court, you have the opportunity to play, you have the opportunity to shoot. Last 2 games, he's averaging 35 minutes per game with no RJ Barrett against an OKC team that basically is garbage right now, okay? No Lou Dort tonight. He's going to throw up the shots. He's going to have 10 to 12 attempts from the field and probably 5 to 6 3-point attempts. There's no reason to me to think that he doesn't get at least 15 points tonight. This could be a 20-point night. Just scored 20 against Portland. So 15 to 17 range to me, easy is a lock for me for Quentin Grimes. So I'm going to go plus money, plus 200. Then I get really interesting, right? I got to take long shots here because we're going plus money. Let's go all out. I'm going to go Darius Baisley double tonight. And again, the reason why I like this matchup for bad plays. Okay, I like Baisley, who's been known to be able to get a few triple doubles. Okay, and on top of that, you're going against the Knicks, who've been known to give up some triple doubles. So Baisley again is going to get the play. And he's been able to do it, and I think he does it again tonight. And again, for plus money, sometimes you just can't beat these plays to me. You got to go plus money sometime. And again, DFS value, the last 2 games, he's 40 plus points on DK, which is something to look at. But if you look at his numbers, he's just missing the double doubles. 17-8. He had a double double 2 nights ago in Philly, 14 and 15 against Joel Embiid. Okay, so Mitchell Robinson questionable right now. So he most likely going to play a lot against Taj Gibson tonight. Okay, so I really feel like this is a good double bet. And then we're going to go real high here, Ghost. Real high. We're going to go Mr. Sabonis, triple-double plus 650. I talked enough about him, right? He's going to go back to the Indiana days where he's throwing up those triple-doubles. For me, tonight, Sabonis, 25, 13, and 11 for Sabonis. That's my line. 25, 13, and 11 plus 650. That's where I'm going. Ghost, what do you got, buddy? Oh, wait, you got them in here, right?
Yeah, I did put them in there.
All right, there we go.
First one's going to be Bobby Portis, over 27.5 points plus rebounds. If you've bet Giannis rebounds or Giannis P plus R, you're annoyed when Bobby Portis takes his rebounds. When you bet this and Giannis is on the court and Giannis goes for 15 rebounds, you're annoyed. Giannis isn't there anymore. It's all Bobby Portis are on the glass tonight. Easy matchup against Jusuf Nurkic in the paint. Brian knows as a Trailblazer fan that while Nurkic can figure out his way around the offensive rim, around his own defensive side of the ball, and it's just a disaster to say the least. So I do like Bobby Portis over 27.5 points plus rebounds at plus 105. And then the second one is a same game parlay.
Ooh.
So we're using all alternate totals for these ones. So I dropped the game total to 219.5. All depends if you guys want to go friskier with this one. I'll give you one that if you want to go a bit friskier for more of a long shot odds, but this is your couch change pizza bet money of the day. If you want to go a bit safer and you're looking to double up, plus 210, over 219.5 in the game. Seth Curry over 11.5 points. Fox 20 plus, Sabonis 15 plus. And if you want, I personally think it goes over the total of 228 as it is. So you don't even have to drop it. If you don't want, you could put Curry up to 15 plus points, keep Fox and Sabonis as is. And that one goes up a whole lot more than plus 210. But this one, even if you're not too familiar with SGPs or same game parlays, as we call them SGPs, plus 210, certainly worth the look.
I like that. Listen, it's funny because if you notice, a lot of our props, are going to be related to a lot of the players we talked about. And we talked about Seth Curry. If you read the article this morning from Adam and Ghost, you'll see they were really on that Brooklyn-Sacramento game. So there you go. You get 3 guys. Okay, 3 guys, in that plus the same game parlay over and under for the score. So you can see right there, you see where we're headed. So I think I'm going to go bump that up, Ghost. I think I'm going to go that over 228. I'm going to put Sabonis 20 plus, Curry 15 plus. I'm going to juice that up and see what we get. That's probably like plus 6.
If I look at it now,
yeah, it's got to be a big number, and it's very attainable. That's the thing. It's very attainable.
So if you go Curry 15 plus, Sabonis 20 plus, Fox 20 plus, and then over 228 in the game, it goes up to plus 700.
Plus 700.
Yeah.
Listen.
So you put Curry up to 15, keep Fox at 20, put Sabonis from 15 up to 20, and then just take the regular total in the game at 228. It goes up to plus 700.
I like that. I like
that one also too.
That's very attainable. Very attainable. That's the thing. Or it says, do I go Cole Anthony, Bobby Portis, or Klay Thompson? I know Ghost might say Portis here, but that's why we have different. For me, I'm on Klay Thompson tonight, so I would go just from everything that I'm looking at. I think there's a Klay Thompson kind of night. What do you think, Ghost? Are you going Portis in here?
Checking if this is for tiers, guys, you need to be checking the projections. That's exactly how I build tiers lineups. So I literally just take the highest project. Like everyone that's in Discord, if you're not in Discord, please join. Everyone that's in Discord saying that they play tiers, that's what they all do, and everyone's been nuking tiers lately. Like it's out of control. Everybody's been destroying tiers lately. So just gonna keep following that path. And right now it's actually Cole Anthony number one. Cole Anthony. Well, they're all within a point and a half of each other. So like we have right now it's Cole Anthony's at 38, Portis is at 37, Clay's at 36 and a half. Like it's a real toss up. So at that point you got to go with your gut.
Go with your gut.
You go with your gut. I would I'd go Portis or Clay.
That's what it is. It's go with your gut. And with that, again, follow us at Win Daily Sports. You heard the man. Get in the Discord chat, get on Win Daily, and make sure you get all the information you need. People are hitting every day, man. People are hitting every day. It's what you got to do. Matt, got to jump. Yeah, we're going to jump as well. We're going to get our bets in. Remember, go get those FFVPs and get those lineups in. Make sure you get those SGPs in. And hit us up in Discord. Hit us up on Twitter at Win Daily Sports. Give us a follow, both at DFS Ghost, at Tikatola23, at Win Daily, hashtag Props for Profit. Everybody have a fantastic evening. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll catch you right back here. Happy Valentine's Day as well to everybody out there. Make sure you treat the significant others with some respect tonight. So go get the bets in early and go get them a cup of coffee or something, a couple of roses and some strawberries. But as always, we'll catch you tomorrow night. Everybody have a good one.